Hey guys, welcome back to the Hess Project. I'm John Ordalaza, and today I'm going to be reviewing Captain America, the First Avenger, in the lead up to The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, the brand new Marvel Studios series. Let's talk about it. I felt that it was appropriate in the midst of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier series to review the First Avenger, the Winter Soldier, and Civil War. So you're gonna see those reviews in the coming weeks. Be sure to stick around, guys. I feel like I'm one of the only defenders of this film because I genuinely love it. There are a lot of people who say that this film isn't as good as the other two. They're saying, oh, it's the worst of the three, or it's not as good as the other Marvel films. I don't think like that at all. Something more appropriate, I would say, is Winter Soldier and Civil War are so good, they just eclipse the First Avenger. That does not mean the First Avenger is bad by any means. It is still a really great film in my opinion. This serves as the origin story for Captain America and Chris Evans' first appearance as the character in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and it takes place during World War II. Of course, we all know the story of Captain America, where he goes from scrawny old Steve, takes the super soldier serum, and becomes the big, brute Captain America. I will say, amongst the other two Captain America films, this feels and looks completely different. It is shot very differently because Joe Johnston has a much different style than Anthony and Joe Russo do. But I'm telling you guys, before you just ignore this film and say, oh, I only need my Winter Soldier and Civil War, let me tell you guys, don't sleep on this film. It still carries the same amount of emotion and themes as the other two films do. It's just a little more focused on Captain America because you don't have Winter Soldier there, Falcon, and the other freaking Avengers in the third one. I will always defend the Captain America trilogy, but I'm also going to be defending this film for being a great film. I think it sets up the whole story for Steve Rogers beautifully. His own personal journey and his love for Peggy Carter in this film, I think, were all set up very well. The score in this film is probably one of my favorites. I still get little chills when I see Cap coming up that hill with Bucky after he just saved him and all the other soldiers that he just saved by himself. Oh man. The soundtrack of this film was composed by Alan Silvestri, which he came back to do The Avengers the next year, and then he came back 7 years later to do Endgame. He's a phenomenal composer. His music for Steve and for Captain America is some of the best Marvel has ever done. Not only are some of these scenes very emotional, but once his music creeps into it, it makes it all the more emotional. This is probably like the 5th time I've seen The First Avenger, and I actually did tear up during that scene that I was just talking about with him walking up after he saved all of the guys by himself. He went against orders. After Tommy Lee Jones' character says, we're not gonna save those guys until we win the war, Steve Rogers disagrees with him. He goes behind his back. He goes to save Bucky and everybody else that was captured in that battle. He does so successfully, brings them all back, encounters Tommy Lee Jones one more time, and instead of bragging, instead of being that person who would say, I told you so, or I'm the better man than you, or I deserve your job, he doesn't say any of that. Steve Rogers simply just says, these guys need medics ASAP. Can you help them? I don't know. It was just a little part in the movie. It wasn't a huge big deal. That whole scene obviously was, but just that little moment, that little moment that Steve Rogers had with Tommy Lee Jones after he told him not to, and he said, we're not going to save those guys, and he went and did it anyway, and he didn't brag about doing it himself. He just said they need help. That's what made Steve Rogers for me in this film. His hell-bent nature to do good is just so freaking awesome. The special effects in here are on par with other Marvel properties. It's not terrible, but I will say about the Tesseract weapons that Hydra produced in this film, just that aspect of it really kind of took me out of the period piece that this was trying to be. It was trying to be a war film from World War II, from the 1940s. But when I saw all these futuristic weapons, it took me out of it just a little bit. But I will say, if you are a fan of Marvel, if you enjoy seeing Captain America in later films, and you haven't checked out Captain America, the First Avenger, I say go for it. It does tug at the heartstrings a little bit, you know, especially that tragic ending where he goes into the ice and freezes to death, or just goes to sleep for 70 years. It's still very emotional at times, so if you're a fan of Captain America, I highly recommend this film. It's still one of the best Marvel films out there. Let me know down below, what did you think of Captain America: The First Avenger? If you've seen it, let me know down below. Let me know your favorite Captain America film. I'm going to be doing reviews for all of them, including Winter Soldier and Civil War, so you might want to stick around, guys. Also, we got Falcon and Winter Soldier coming up on Friday. Stick around because there's more to come.